As the U.S. begins withdrawing troops from Afghanistan, ending America's longest war, there are real concerns about Taliban attacks, civil war, a potential collapse of the Afghan government, which would be disastrous for many Afghans, especially women and girls. NBC's chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel spoke to students at a school in Kabul about their concerns.
At the Ade school this morning in Kabul, the new Afghanistan is on full display. Girls and boys together in the same school. For the last 20 years, under American protection, education has been transformed in this country, especially for girls. The Taliban banned education for girls and women. Now that American troops are leaving, the Taliban may return and put a stop to this in the name of Islam. In geography class, 17-year-old Najla Safi is one of the school's top students. She wants to be a gynecologist when she grows up and treat women and girls for free. Down in the library, she and others work on reading comprehension in English.
What do you think American troops leaving will mean for you?
If Americans goes, I think the fighting between Taliban and government is going to be happen, because Taliban are people that don't understand about the future.
2 decades ago, the Taliban ruled Afghanistan. The Islamic fanatics and misogynists ordered women to stay home and cover up with burqas if they had to go out. Defiance was met with beatings or even death by stoning. Now U.S. troops are leaving, and the withdrawal could mean the days are numbered for the Afghan Music Institute. The Taliban banned nearly all music, especially for women. Girls could be whipped just for this. 16-year-old Mina Karimi is determined not to give in. She composed this work called Dawn, dedicated to the struggle of Afghan women.
I will never let anyone to stop me or other girls from playing music.
Here, they'll try to resist the darker days that are coming through will and music.
And joining me now is NBC's chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel from Kabul. Richard, that was so beautiful. And you know, you've seen this whole transition. I was there back in 1998 when the women were wearing burqas and could not come out and couldn't go to school. And this is just so heartbreaking for those women and for the girls and for other people in Afghanistan.
It is. Well, it is, and it depends also on what you've lived through. So when the Taliban came to power here, this country had just gone through a terrible civil war, 1992 to 96. 1.5 million people died, and the country, the city was destroyed. People had very little expectation. They were coming out of the rule of the Mujahideen, where women and girls had basically no rights to begin with. Then the Taliban came in. It was just a more extreme flavor of something that was already there. Now, you've had 20 years living under the American umbrella. This country has had serious problems, but it has developed significantly. The lifespan for the average Afghan has increased by 10 years. There is medical care here. There is school access for everyone. Boys and girls in the same schools, sometimes in the same classrooms. And people have ambitions. They want to travel. The girl that I spoke to today, the first one in that spot, she's studying rocket engineering, and she wants to study abroad. And to have that torn away from you, in a sense, is even more painful than having going from a terrible situation to one under the Taliban. This generation here never lived under the Taliban. They've lived having different kinds of dreams and hoping for a different kind of future. And now they're watching American troops packing up and leaving, and they're very worried that the Taliban could come back and roll this country back into the Stone Age and lock them back into their houses, reimpose the burqa, take their schools away, and destroy their future. That movement, Dawn, that the young woman was playing, she's 16 years old, and it was dedicated to the plight of Afghan women. And it starts, the movement starts with a very a sad motion where it's almost like women are crying, she described it to me. And then it has a moment of uplifting, and she hasn't finished the piece. She's deliberately waiting for this next chapter, and she doesn't know how she's going to end that particular piece of music. So I think
What a
that's part of the
metaphor.
uncertainty people are feeling here.
Very briefly, Richard, the military, U.S. military says the pace of Taliban attacks against Afghans is increasing, not against U.S. forces, but against Afghans. Are you seeing that on the ground, hearing about it?
Oh, absolutely. And it might change against U.S. forces, too. So there's a lot of strategy here that the Taliban is trying to figure out how it wants to play this next chapter, and it feels like it is playing a winning hand. It feels like it has been victorious. So the Trump administration made a deal with the Taliban, and the Trump administration said all U.S. forces would be out by May 1st. Obviously, that didn't happen. President Biden said all U.S. troops would be out by September 11th. He didn't change the basic framework of the deal, just extended it unilaterally until September 11th. The Taliban are now saying, well, they might attack U.S. forces now that May 1st has passed, between May 1st and September 11th. But they know if they do that, they will face an enormous military reprisal from the United States. So they might or they might not. But what they have been doing is they've been going after the softer targets, going after the Afghans, going after educators, going after journalists, going after women.
Richard Engel, of course, there in Kabul, where he has spent so much time over the years. Richard, thank you very much. And